Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and today's show is presented by our good friends, Manscaped. The Raiders, they didn't score last week. If you're trying to score this week, though, make sure you go to manscaped.com/Raiders, promo code Raiders for 20% off and free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. So what we're going to be talking about here on today's show is going to be a Raiders-Jaguars preview, and then we will get into also some keys to victory in this game. I got 5 keys to victory. Let's just face it, both of these teams right now, they're not playing very good football. There's a reason why the Raiders are 2-5. There's a reason why the Jags are 2-6. Hell, the Jags haven't won a game since September 25th. That seems like forever ago. The Raiders, they laid an absolute goose egg last week against New Orleans. Now, I hope that y'all wake up early because I get it. It's early on the West Coast, but this is going to be a 1 o'clock game Eastern time. Jeremy Chuggs and I, we're going to be live starting at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you are going to be watching with us, Jeremy Chuggs, we try to bring you that environment of an Oakland tailgate, Las Vegas tailgate. Hell, if anybody's going to be in Jacksonville, tailgate there as well. Hit that subscribe button, spam RO4L down in the comments, because as far as I'm concerned, we need as many people here to get that party rocking and rolling as we can. Now coming up here on the show is going to be my 5 keys to victory. And if you've been following along for the season, the keys have been on. And some good and some bad as well. The first key to victory here is Derek Carr and Josh McDaniels, they got to be on the same page. I don't know what the hell happened last week. I've watched a lot of football games, and I don't even remember the last time that a starting offense didn't cross the 50-yard line. So DC and McDaniels, you got to be able to connect, because last week, Derek against the Saints, 15-26, 101 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. There were some rumors out there that his back was bothering him, that he was stiffer than normal. I would say maybe Manscaped's the reason of that. I don't know. This is what I know, though. I went back and I looked at every single one of Derek Carr's games. It was the lowest yard total with at least 13 attempts in his entire career. You go back a few years ago when he played the Chargers, he left that game early. He was injured. 3 of 5, 64 yards, I believe. You go back a few more years when he played the Bengals. He had less yards, but he only threw the ball 12 times. When Derek has thrown the ball as much as he had, for him only have 101 yards against the Saints, who have got a lot of injuries right now, that was just about as bad as it gets. So let's put last week now officially in our rearview mirror. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. How many passing yards is Derek Carr going to have this week against the Jags? The lucky number this year for wins has been somewhere around like 241. I don't really always say that I don't care about passing yards. Yes, obviously it helps you pick up first downs. Yes, obviously it helps you get a little bit further down the field. I want to see better connection, though, and I want to be able to tell myself that he is picking up this Josh McDaniels offense. I really do. I want Derek to succeed. I want him to win. I want him to be our quarterback. But how long have y'all defended him? How long have, I've defended him. We've all defended him. Sooner or later, it's time to put up or shut up. And as far as I'm concerned, he needs to put up. Let's go to the next key to victory here up against the 2-6 Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's get Josh Jacobs going early. Early and often, because when I watch Jacobs run and he can get that downhill motor going, and then defenders have to try to take him down in terms of third quarter, fourth quarter action, that's going to set up then the play action. That's going to set up the deep ball. That's going to take a lot of pressure off of Derek Carr. I also know in the 2 wins that the Raiders have this season, he's had 20 or more carries in both of those wins. Last week, only 10 carries against New Orleans. The last time he had only 10 carries, you got to go all the way back to week 1 against the Chargers. And that game, again, very rough game from top to bottom. If Jacobs can get going early, that then makes it a lot easier on this passing game. Yes, we thought the passing game would be a lot more, but sometimes you just got to be able to face the facts here. Josh Jacobs needs the ball early, often, run that man into the ground. Now, guys, we got a special offer today. Major shout out to our sponsor. And if you're looking to have the perfect package, go to manscaped.com/Raiders, promo code Raiders. Usually, it's going to cost you $110. But if you use promo code Raiders, hopefully you all know how to spell that and remember that one, you can get the perfect package for $87.99. It comes in that You get your ball preserver, which is like ball deodorant. You get a nice little ball spray to kind of like freshen up. Does anybody have poopery at their house? Imagine poopery for your ball sack. The Lawnmower 4.0, best shave out there. In fact, I'm Manscaped today. I Manscaped when I woke up this morning. You don't believe me? Look at that. That belly, no hair. Down below, hot. Even less hair. Comfortable boxers. And one of my favorite things about this entire thing is your package. And those boxers, not gonna lie, Chugs, it looks pretty good. There's that old saying, if I could get an inch. You're going to get an inch, maybe two. I don't know. That's up to y'all. Manscaped.com/Raiders. Promo code Raiders, 20% off and free shipping. Let's go to the next key to victory here. Target Devonte Adams. This one isn't rocket science. To be honest, that one's not rocket science. That one's not rocket science either. There's at times where I watch these games, and I just don't understand how Devonte Adams doesn't get 10 targets a game. I don't care. You paid him all that money. He's clearly the best wide receiver on your team, and yet you're giving 9 targets to Foss Moreau, 8 targets to Matt Collins. Devonte Adams had only 5 targets last week. Yes, he did drop a ball, or he had a chance to bring one in. Probably should have had another 2 catches. But for 1 catch, 3 yards, and 5 targets in a game that you're losing the entire thing, I'm sorry. Derek, target him. McDaniels, design some plays for him. If it's double team season on Devonte, I'm still going to throw it to Devonte Adams. He's the best damn receiver in the NFL. I get that the numbers are down, but that's because of how bad this passing attack has been. Plus, on top of that, Jaguars wide receivers this year tied for 4th in the NFL with most receiving touchdowns allowed to wide receivers. Target Devonte Adams. So I want you to look right now into your crystal balls, which have just been shaved from Manscaped. And how many targets will Adams get up against the Jags? Seriously, look into your... Let me know. I see 69 likes right now on our live show. I just had to say that out loud, especially with Manscaped being a sponsor. How many targets will Devonte Adams get against the Jags? Let's now go to the Jaguar side of the football, kind of, and I'm going to say slow down Travis Etienne. I said slow down Alvin Kamara last week, so I was a little bit hesitant to put this back on the show. But you know what? That's the key. The Raiders this entire season have struggled against the running back position. And Travis Etienne has been running very motivated. He's been running like an absolute madman over the past few weeks. 92 carries, 571 yards on the season. He's had like 3 straight games over 90 rushing yards. That's how that offense has been able to work because of this man right here. But on top of that, the Raiders got to learn how to stop running backs coming out of the backfield and cover those guys, because if you're going to continue to put Denzel Perriman on running backs, you're going to get beat. When you look at overall the numbers from the most receiving yards allowed per team to the running back position, Raiders are worse than the NFL. They've allowed 436 receiving yards to running backs this year, and they've even been on a bye. Think about that. They're also tied for 2nd for most receiving touchdowns, 3rd for most receptions allowed. Stop the running back out of the backfield. Patrick Graham schemed for it. Now, we do have one more key to victory. Before I go to that, though, remember, y'all, we are also available over on Locals. And Locals is definitely for diehard Raider fans only. I say that because it's $10 a month, $100 a year, but you get exclusive live videos. You get extra exclusive content, the 2 videos that I put up over on Locals this week, which, if you guys can go check it out at RaidersReport.locals.com. 5 things the Raiders must do if they want to make the playoffs. And then I gave my honest reaction to Dave Ziegler's press conference, and I'm just going to tell y'all right now, I was not happy with Dave Ziegler at all. That's why you see the Pinocchio up there. And we do an NFL Pick'em Challenge every week. The winner of our NFL Week 8 Pick'em Challenge was Aaron Devandry, who's been a member since September 7th, 2022, living in Arizona. Aaron, you beat me. Congratulations to you. And if you want to see your face on the Raiders Report next week, hey, join it. RaidersReport.locals.com. The NFL Pick'em Challenge is for supporters only. Let's go to my final key to victory up against Jacksonville. You got to win in the trenches. This is a mix between, can we just be a tough football team? I get it in terms of a lot of conversation goes around the quarterback, right? It's fine. Those guys are the ones that get paid big bucks. We talk about head coaches. To me, though, football games are still won and lost a lot of times in the trenches. And the Raiders were embarrassed against the Saints in the trenches on defense, especially at the defensive tackle position, even on your offensive line. The Raiders' offensive line, if anybody out there is telling you that the Raiders' offensive line is the reason for Derek Carr, Josh McDaniels' struggles, don't listen to them. Unsubscribe to them. Stop listening to their podcast. Block them because, I'm sorry, they don't know what they're talking about. Statistically, the Raiders have actually been a top 10 offensive line this season. If anybody would have told me the Raiders would have a top 10 offensive line, I would have shit my pants literally right here on the show. But they have been. Did they struggle last week in the passing game? Yes, they did. Did they struggle a little bit in the running game? Yes, they did. But if you can win in the trenches, you are going to win football games. And I really think it's not rocket science. I know. I've said it a few times already. So when you look at today's overall spread here for the Raiders and Jags game, the Raiders, again, are a 2-point road favorite. Makes me nervous. The over-under in this game is 48 points total. But Vegas thinks that Las Vegas is going to come away with a win. So I'm going to ask you guys. Predict the score, Raiders, Jags. Get your score predictions now. I'm not going to give my score prediction because I gave it last week, and, well, we saw how that worked out. So Raiders, Jags, get your score predictions in right now. One more time here from the top. My keys to victory up against the Jags. Carr McDaniels, get on the same page. Hell, get a freaking book. I don't know what you got to do. Just get on the same damn page. Let's get Josh Jacobs going early and often. Target Devonte Adams. I can't even believe I have to say that. Slow down Travis Etienne, and then win in the trenches. Now, that's today's show. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already turned on those notifications, please make sure you do so. And a friendly reminder, Chugs and I, we are going to be live for Raiders, Jags, bright and early, starting at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 9:30 Pacific. Set that alarm. Join the Raiders Report. Even though this has been a rough season, we're still going to be cheering Raiders. We're still going to be doing boots. We're still going to be having a hell of a time. And I hope that you join us. Go Raiders.